Um, so, hello everyone. Get started. Last session, um, the instructions weren't clear, so I went back and like checked everything to make sure that the instruction is exact as steps that all of us need to follow to make sure that we set up the project correctly. So created this one that I shared with you. Uh, so that like we over it, I created this project like the folder, so it's empty. I will go over the same steps here, so we start here and then move on to the project. You don't have to do it. You already set it up, but I will show you the exact step I take. And also, I'm recording it just in case, like later, every time you're creating a new project with a Streamlit, you have to follow these steps. Every new project. So you have to come back here, like do these steps again. Before we move on to the presentation, I also updated the file that we are going to go over. It's this like kind of the same content with a different organization. So make sure to download this new version, the mastery workbook, and open it in your file. One more thing, I extended the deadline for homework to Sunday night. Okay, so you have until Sunday night to submit it. And I added the AI tutorial to the app just in case you want like just for clarifications, questions. That one is kind of a very limited AI tutorial. So it won't give you that much details. It's supposed to just maybe give you hints, like kind of give you some direction. Um, Usually during the weekend, I don't check my emails. I hardly check emails or like respond to emails. So just please keep that in mind. You might not get any emails from like if you send email weekend, you might not get it until Monday morning. All right. Any question of homework before we start? Okay, good. So let me go over this step. So I'm gonna start from just here. I already created folder and opened it, but you can see it. There is nothing in the folder, right? There's nothing in the folder. It's an empty folder. I'm gonna start from here from Python, like part two. I want to check my Python version, Python, uh, and so I'm gonna copy it to version. Okay. All right. So Python 3 version. It just tell me that the Python is installed and I have like Python 3. Great. Now let me move on to a step three. I have a step three here. I'm gonna go to a step three. I have two steps to follow. One to create virtual environment and then activate it. Two lines of code. I'm gonna copy two lines of code exactly into my area. All right. So what happened? We can see that that folder is created V and V E and V folder is created. That's the first thing. So did this. Let's move on through the steps. What is the next step? The next step is to verify activate interpreter path. Okay. So for Mac users, I'm going to run the step four. All right. For newer enough, right? Very simple. Um, Now select VS Code interpreter. So here I will press this Command Shift and P. Command Shift P will tell me select an interpreter. Select an interpreter. So I'm going to click on select interpreter. If it didn't show, you can simply type it here. Select interpreter and it will show it here. All right. So you have multiple options. You see multiple options. Which one you want to choose? I'm going to use the one that has int, e, v, and v. V, e, and v. One has v, e, and v. Okay. And also you can see it in the instructions. Okay. So expect that the one that chooses dot e and v. So this one shows dot e and v. I'm going to select the interpreter as this one. Okay. Nothing happened, but it's selected now. All right. So my virtual or BNB is now set up. Next step is to install a Streamlit. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this part, the Python part. Okay, I can do it one by one. I'll do it one by one. Okay, install. Okay, and then next one. This will install Streamlit. The first one installs upgrade PIP. This is one we use like for installing version. So you need to type PIP. So that the first one, make sure that you have it, and then Streamlit. And then third one, okay. Third one, tell me what is the version of Streamlit that I just installed. Right. But how do I make sure that everything is correct? See, everything so far very uh, uh, smooth going on. Uh, I'm gonna add this two lines again, one at a time. Uh, just see the result. Okay. Okay. So it shows I've installed the Streamlit version 1.54. Good. Now, last step, just check if everything went well. Gonna type Python Streamlit hello. All right, that's it. Install like in project is good. It was that simple, but I don't know. I should have created this file before. Think about it, and we didn't have it. But this version is very straightforward and simple. Uh, so next time when you have like you want to create a Streamlit project, please go back to this file, follow these exact steps, 5, 6 steps, and it's ready simply for creating project. All right, now I'm going to close this and start the project. A few things that I need to add. I need to add uh, app.py. All right. We this project we needed for the full like a file app.py. We needed to add dot get ignore. We needed to add dot env. All right. And also we needed to add requirements dot txt. In the requirement txt, that's my requirement, and that's it. I close the file. Env, I will just keep it empty. That's okay. Git ignore. Here, two things. Dot env and also the venv. That's okay. I don't want to push env to repository. Also, I want to push .venv to GitHub. Yes. The installing. Okay. Let me. Oh, okay. This was a. Okay. So, and call it site. I don't know. Um, this part. uh, So the first one installs PIP. That's the one that you use like to install, like PIP install a Streamlit. But that should be installed and like has to be there before you can use it. Okay, and then you can type two lines, um, or just this one Python dash m Streamlit hello. If it pops up, that just means that everything is good, ready to use. Right. I'm gonna close this. We've created the app by this is the one we are going to use. Okay, this is the one that we are going to use. I'm gonna remove this. Um, right away. Let me actually to uh GitHub. All right, GitHub repositories. I'm gonna create new one, Streamlit um, one. Okay, so everything like you can actually here can record that. So I created the repository one simple thing. Copy this part, okay? Copy this part, and then go to your terminal here, and then push it to your terminal, like add to your terminal the whole thing, and then click. That's it's set. Your repository now it's set. These are the ones we haven't pushed yet. It don't pushed because if you look at the code, it says git add readme. So it only created and pushed that file to GitHub. The rest of it is not pushed yet, and that's what we're going to ourselves. So repository is set to can refresh this, and I can edit this now as like right. Everything is good. Now we can move on to this part. So today we are starting app design, UI design. We are using a Streamlit. It's a very useful MVP app development minimum viable product. You don't want to get into like learning HTML, CSS, so many other like complex languages, and then start like building your idea to make it, and then give it to users to see if they like it or not. Like you want something that like you can quickly develop it, run it. Uh, Publish it online, not in your laptop, online, and then give the link to users like they can use it. The good thing about Streamlit is that you're going to actually publish your okay. You're going to publish your application. We're going to like develop it locally. Then we will talk about how you're going to use the online version to actually publish our application online, and we'll share the link with the users to use it. It's a very quick process to make your app public. Um, okay, so I'm going to go over a few set of items that you have access to using a Streamlit or using the package. First, let's import a Streamlit. So import a Streamlit. Right. As is, what is SSD? Just means that what we want to like name it as as something we are going to use. It's kind of a creating an object or an example of it. So we are going to use SD for it. Okay. So imported Streamlit. Um, let's start from here. There are a few elements you can use for the headers of the application. One of them is like the title. You can use the title for the main title app. Um, these are very limited number of items that you can use for the headers. We'll talk about, I would think Markdown. I prefer Markdowns better. We're going to use Markdowns more than Streamlit features itself. So let's start from here. SD dot title. Okay. First, of course, manager or management. I think that's the course manager. SD dot title. Now, let's run it. Okay, run this. It's good to run it because it refreshes it. But this just like runs the code, not runs the application. There is a difference. You need to run the application separately. So how do we run the application? In the terminal, you're going to type Streamlit space run space app.py. Okay, so Streamlit app run app.py. Streamlit run, and then the name of the file that you want to run with Streamlit. Okay, so that's the one you're going to run every time. Again, and create a new terminal, Streamlit run app.py. Okay, so this is what you want to type into your terminal. Once you do it, click enter, and you should see it. If you don't see it, click enter again. Sometimes it asks for email to just somehow email. It's okay. Once you run it, then you will see a local host which shows your application is running. This one get this run. Yes. Okay, that's good. We're moving through this thing now. Right. Let's try the other ones. Wouldn't be able to like say what is the difference unless we see it. I can't tell you how the levels change, but you can see. So for example, st.stop header. Okay, st.stop header. Course assignments manager. Okay. S dot is the other one. Actually header, title header. We can see the difference. I'm gonna use both of them, the same title to just see the difference. And then st dot divider, and then close parentheses. What is st divider? St divider is just a line. Okay, you want to separate your areas sometimes, and st divider adds liner so that it separates some area from the rest of the areas. Sometimes like it will add to the UI to become more informative. Hey, this is a new section in this page. All right, so go to your page, and then you will see like a read on here. You should see a run here. You can read on it, okay, and then we'll see the difference. Okay, see the difference? This one was subheader, this one was header, that one was title. So actually, let me change the organization. I think that will make it more informative. I'm gonna move this actually to the top. Title, header, subheader. Okay, so I want to have this title, header, subheader, and then run it. Okay. I think the difference between header and title is that the title is bold. It probably they have the same font, and then like just one like uses bold. And then this line that you see here is ST divided. Okay, ST divided. Let's use the caption in the next section. I will use it in the next section. I'm going to add this section titles the comment so you kind of keep I like each time we are moving to another section. Let's move on to a step 2. I will add this step 2 here. In S2, we want to create a list of assignments and then create our first create an assignment UI. Okay, so we've created it in the last few sessions. The difference was that over there we didn't have a UI. Here we're going to create a UI for this. So first, let's add this here assignments. All right, assignments and then list. We are creating the list of assignments. I will add a dictionary here. Dictionaries are the key values. Assignments dictionary, the same exact thing that we did last Friday, for example. Like what was that? ID, okay, homework one, add a comma, title, true to database, okay, description, basics of database design. Oh, all right. And then let's add some type here. It's homework. Attention to if you see an error, just check your syntaxes. So it's a dictionary of like list of dictionaries. For list, we are using the squares. For the dictionaries, we are using the curly brackets. Inside the dictionary, we use key values. They're separated with a colon, and also add a comma at the end. So for the next one, and then next one. Let's add a second assignment. For that, I first add a comma here. Add a comma, and then add a new dictionary. Again, ID, homework 2, title. One is the other title. Normalization. Right. Description. Normalizing. Okay, I'm gonna leave the description as normalizing. Let's normalize it. Right. Who remembers normalization from database? Did you cover normalization in database? Yes, no? Yes. It's basically the idea that, hey, like for example, it's completely irrelevant. When you have two tables and like you want to like look into to see what is what is a duplicate type of information and you want to remove it and normalize like the design and that sort of questions. Points 100 type oh type homework. All right. Okay. Good. Can run this and this run sometimes good. I think it kind of runs it as a program, but not at the extreme level. Probably checks the syntaxes. That's it. But for this, you need to come here and rerun your application. And you don't notice anything because at this point we just added the back end code. We didn't add front end, right? So front end development, back end development. Front end development is this, your front end. Back end development is like anything that happens behind the scene. Right. So now let's move on again to front end, right? That's our focus here. So step 3. All right. So here I want to talk about very important UI elements. There's multiple categories that we're going to talk about. There are elements that you get input from the user. Like for example, text input. The user can type a text like you want to ask for user's first name, last name. User like SC number input. You use number input to force the user to provide number. You're still going to use text input to get number, but the difference is that if you do that and you're looking for a number, then you have to add validation behind the code to make sure that the validated input is validated. like, for example, it's a number, it's not a character. Difference is that when you put a text input, it forces the user to provide a number. Uh, Text area. This is, I think, like it's a multi-line paragraph. When you have you want to like allow the user, like you have something like a description. This is going to be probably longer than a title. For title, I will use like text input, and then for description, I will use text area. This gives us more space for typing. Date input, like collecting date from user. Select box, checkbox, radio box, or radio, here radio. Select box is like, hey, have list of items, days of the week, Monday through Sunday. This is limited. A list that is very limited. List of items that is very limited. So you want to let the user choose from them. Radio. Radio is the one that like it's like one, either this or that, either this or that. If you're using radio, you want to make sure your list is limited. Hey, like for example, like movie genres. These are very limited. You can select them. Either you use a select box or use a radio. We'll see the difference within design. You have like multi-select. These are ones that you want to let the user select multiple items. Intent matters, right? So you never use any of the items that we talk about for changing the page or for activating something. These are data inputs you're collecting. So if for activation you use radio bar, that's the wrong design choice. For activation, we talk about the only thing you activate things is just with button. Always use a button. File uploader and so on. And then layout. Let's add the items and then talk about the layout. So first, I will add this title. You're going to collect the input from the user. You have to store it in a variable. You have to store it in a variable. So you name that variable title. Title is sc.text input. And then close parentheses. Okay, text input, you need to add title for that item. Okay, so this is assignment title. Assignment title. With text boxes, we think you're collecting inputs, text box, and other similar items. Most of the time, it's good to use placeholders. Okay, placeholders. So I'm gonna type placeholder. Okay, say placeholder. Placeholder will be like a helpful like example, like you put like in the text box as a kind of a hint to the user what you're looking for the user to input. Okay. So I'm gonna say like homework 1 placeholder. I think let me try this help. Okay, help is also available here. You can try it. Okay, so the difference, let me just not include help and then include it so you can notice the difference. Okay, so this is my text input. I will go here and rerun my application. And now you can see the text input. This is the place title. This is the placeholder. You see, once you type it, it disappears. The placeholder disappears once you type it. Now, what's the difference between placeholder and help? Let's see. I will add help, enter a short name. Okay. I added the help. Let me actually run it. Okay. What happened when I added help? It kind of like added this thing at the end or like at the right. And then I can go over it and it shows the message. That's the difference between help and placeholder. Okay. So it's a help versus a placeholder. Let's add description. We're collecting description sc.text for this one, use text area because the description could be longer. Text input is a one line. Let's see the difference. Text input, add a title, assignment, description. Okay, then placeholder. So it's not always details. All right, we'll go here. We don't want this. So what is the difference here now? This is a text box. This is a text box, and this is a text area. And then with the text area, notice this difference? That's with the text area, right? With the text area, you give more space to the user to enter values, and then you can see the titles as well. Any question? All right, let's talk about a very important topic, layout design. So for layout design, what's the layout? It's your area, it's your space. What is your space here? Your space here is this is your space. The whole thing is your space. You're thinking about this is my layout, this is my space, how I'm going to use it. How am I going to use it to create organization, to create a layout, to give help to use through layout design. Through layout design is very important element. Think of this whole area as one column. One column. This thing, one column. Okay, one column. Now, if you have one column, you can use it as one column, or you can divide it to multiple columns. And then each column can take different spaces. The spaces could be like, hey, I want to have two equally separated columns. Two equally separated columns. Let's see how it works. We do that using columns. Okay, so using columns, ST columns. For depending on what is how many columns you want to, like you have one big column and you want to break it down. How many columns? I said two columns. So that means I'm going to name each one of them. First, I'm going to name them. I'm going to name them col1 and col2. Col1 and col2 equals ST dot columns and parentheses. Okay. So this way it says, hey, ST, take this as space and divide it to this amount of columns, and each one of them should be placed here. So I have two of them, col1, col2, so I should specify two. There are different ways to specify this, and we'll see each one of them. I'm going to specify two. What does it mean? It is going to divide your layout to two equally separated columns. Right? How do we notice the difference? So we need to use the width. The keyword is width. Width, and then specifying the column that you want to use. Here, I'm going to use col1. Okay. And then place an. Okay, welcome to indentation. Indentation matter a lot in application design. This is going to create two layers now. This is the second layer, first time we're creating it. So now, anything you want to place inside the col area, it has to start from here. going to do this? I'm going to move these items. First, let's see this. All right. Did you see it? Now I'm going to change it. I'm going to move these two, copy them, remove them from here, and place them inside call. Make sure the indentation is correct. These are inside the column. Okay. So I move them. Move the items into call 1 and you notice the difference. Okay. So that's the indentation. So now let's note the difference. This is our initial design. I'm going to run this and see what happens. What happened? Now we have two equally separated columns. Okay. This is one column, column 1. This is your column 2, and that's why it's empty. You place the items in column 1. Okay. So that's how you can add items. Let me add item to column 2. I'm going to do it. How do I add it? Again, find the right place. First, you need to specify that these items should be in column 2. With column 1, that's your indentation. With column 2. With column 2, add a column. With column 2, due date. sc dot dates inputs. Due date. Okay. Now let me run it. All right. Do you see? Now our area at our layout is built based on two columns, and each one of them 50-50%. 50-50%. What if I decide, no, I want to have it, for example, 70-30%? How do I do it? It's very simple. So I will go back here, copy this. Okay, I want to use the like both of them. First, I will comment this. This will give you 50%, 50%. Okay. Will give you 50%, 50% for two columns, but I want to be able to have more control on it. Instead of the number, use a list. Use a list. So add a square bracket. Add a square bracket. Inside the square bracket, use numbers. Like, do you want it to be 70%, 30%? That means 2 over 1, right? 3. You have 3 columns, 2 over 1. 2, 1. Together, 3. My definition of 30%. But 2 of third is going to be called 1. 1/3 is going to be called 2. Okay. Now let's run it. Do you see this one? And now see what happened. Okay. So now have this, right? 2. This 50% is like now 2 over 1. That's how you play with the layout. Okay. How you play with the layout. You want to be very careful about selection and where to place them. Doesn't make sense to put here date, a structure, organization. I'm just practicing them, but after this, you want to carefully consider what you want to wear. Okay. I showed this like last session. I want to show it to you too. So It's the same concept, different UI design. The language is different, but this is the same concept. So what do you see about this area from here to here? This is three column layout, three column layout. This is column one. It's one. This is column two. It's about six. So 6, 1, 7. And then this is 1, 8. If I divide my area to 8 columns, I created two of them, 1 and 1, and then 6. That's how I thought it like the layout has to look like. If I created like this one and this one like differently, it would kind of give a wrong idea maybe. So I try to stay consistent and then created enough space for the middle one, which is the content. I can exactly create the same layout here. We went to with this one. You don't need to type it. I will show it to you. But just look at. You don't need to type. This how it would look like. Call 1, call 2, call 3, and it would look like this. 2, 1, 6, 1. Okay. If you use same structure, you will have to have one for each one of them because you want to specify in each column what you want to put. So that divides your layout into 3 columns. And what are the columns and spaces? This is where you specify. Okay, so that means you divide your area into eight, then specify how much of is allocated to each column. Like 1 out of 8 is this, 1 out of 8, and then 6. 3 column layout. But you can type it, just keep it in the code. I don't want to change the text. So that's the difference. Can add the number if I'm just like trying to just like say, hey, just simply divide the area in equal space. So I want to have control. That's when I use list and then I specify exactly how much space I want. Right? Question. Now, let's talk about another cool thing. Containers. Very important element of very important element in this is not the file. Which one was the one? All right. The next topic we want to talk about for layouts. For layouts, you use columns and also you use containers. It's about containing a content area. So you want to make decisions. Okay. How many areas do you see here? Or section? How many sections do you see here? Major section. If you look at those like containers, you will tell me probably you see 2 sections, right? 2 separate sections. There is one part here, and then there is one part here, right? This container, this border separated the sections, giving an idea to the user. There is this is a separate section. Again, here, you see, could have just put everything just onto each other, but like by creating this separated contained area, I give an idea to the user that is a different section. Make it understandable by design. So how do I implement it using Streamlit? Here we have sd.container. I will use it here. Again, for container, you have to use keyword if you want to see with container, include this item. Okay, with container. So I'm placing in the column with container. Oh, with sd.container, sorry. container, and then add the column. You want to say what is going to go inside the container, what is going to go inside the container. And whatever you're putting inside the container, it has to be pushed one layer next. So I'm placing these two items in the container. So I'm going to add one tab. Now we have three layers, three indentions, layers, I don't know. One, two, right? And then three. Columns, container, and then text item. Let me go back to design and run. I'm going to run it. We didn't notice anything. Let's go back. And now in the container, add this border. Type border. Its default is false. That's why you didn't notice the difference. It didn't create the border. I'm going to border true. Okay, border is true. All right, let's go back here and rerun that. Note the difference on your code and see if you notice a difference. This will give you a contained area so the user knows this like items come together. I want to help the user understand the design and like what you're looking for better. Can I do? I'll do this too. Let me introduce you to markdowns. st dot markdown. Markdowns give you a lot of area into like having control on the way that you present texts, the size, the font, and elements, the codes. So I'm going to add st markdown. I will use this always has to be text. I will place it. I'll add one hashtag. Let's say assignment. Assignment details. Okay. Assignment detail. st markdown. Hashtag space. So I will go back here and run. Okay. So Markdown gives you a lot of areas for controlling the content of like this, the content, like a textual content. This is one hashtag. It's not a good title font here. So I will change it to two hashtag and then run it again. It's still too big for this area. I will use three hashtag. Okay. I think it's good enough. Okay. So this is the title and this is the border. It's a different idea to the user what this means. These items in that contain. Let me also use a different one here, st.markdown. Markdown, you have to learn them. You have to go search like different ones. But these are the common ones we use. For example, a star, date selection or due date selection, due date selection, and then a star at the end. Notice this, I connected, right? I didn't leave any space. I didn't leave any space. Don't leave any space. Double a star, double a star. What is that? In Markdown, double stars makes bold. It's going to bold the text. It's going to keep the size, but bold the text. Says use with a star, and this one is used with hashtags. There are other like elements that you can use in your text, and they can be mean different things. Uh, right. One thing I forgot to add here, let me just add it here. SD dot subheader. I forgot to add that. Add new assignment. Okay, add new assignment. We know what this. Add new assignment. This is you're building add new assignment. Okay, you're building add new assignment. All right. Um, Container. It's design choices where you use container. Do you want to use like the whole area and then inside that separate sections or not? I mean, like for example, I can put the whole thing inside the container for add new segment, or kind of like clearly building the area. So I will add vid sd dot contain. Okay, and then border is true, and add column. Okay, add a column. I want to put the whole like every element in the layout into that container. So that means I have to push everything one layer forward. So I'm going to select everything here under the container. Select everything here and add a tab so it moves everything next. Select everything, click on tab so it moves everything one layer forward. Keep the line. Right now, this is for container. This is for column. This is for selecting and defining columns. This is for the other container or the items. Okay, now let's go back here and rerun it. Okay, so it created this like nice border that will cover every item in the add new assignment. All right, quickly do this. Create a new terminal. Get the status. Git add dot station. Git command that um, start Streamlit. Um, okay, UI is on UI design or something like that. Streamlit UI design, and then git push. Stage commit push. Great. Let me just quickly post the attendance. Please take it, and that should be our work for today's class. Just keep in mind, I posted this. Like the assignment is due Sunday night. Make sure to submit it, and have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. We'll continue. Yes. Yes. This one. Mhm. Mhm. All right. And now it git add and the git commit and then like and then git like a string code and then git push. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I'm sorry.